Hi everybody, and welcome back to this channel where we talk all about healthy relationships, intimacy, and safety for adults with intellectual or developmental disabilities. My name is Aubrey Brinkley, and I'm working on my doctorate in occupational therapy. And this is my capstone project. This is our fourth episode in a 7-episode series. I'm so excited to continue talking through these different tactics that we can use to help all people thrive. Our first 3 episodes went over the background of this topic, healthy relationships, sexual health education, and education tactics tailored specifically for adults with intellectual or developmental disabilities. Those education tactics will be used throughout the rest of our series, so make sure to take a look at those 3 episodes to get a good background of where we're coming from. Today's episode is talking all about socialization skills. As we talk through these subjects, we'll be using the acronym IDD. I'm so excited to keep learning with you guys, and let's go ahead and jump in. Today we're going to be talking through 5 different skills. So first we're going to talk through social nuances. Then we're going to talk about sequencing of conversation. We're going to talk through reaction, empathy, and responding. We're going to talk about forms of communication. And at the end, we'll talk through social media. We all have different ways of communicating and understanding the world around us, right? Everybody sees things through their own lens. And a lot of times, people with IDD might see things through a really literal lens. So that means that they see things in a black or white world. Sometimes it's hard to understand those little nuances, or if you're trying to make a joke. How do we help build that skill so then they have a flawless interaction with their environment? One thing is talking through social nuances. Let's talk about idioms. What's an idiom? Oh my goodness. It's been raining cats and dogs all week. Where are the cats? Where are the dogs? And are they falling from the sky? No. An idiom is not to be taken literally. It is a way of speaking that kind of expresses a big idea in a funny way. These idioms are super hard to understand if you don't get that things are symbolic at times. When someone says it's raining cats and dogs, are dogs actually gonna fall from the sky? No, it's just raining really heavily outside. So let's talk through some common idioms that you can review with your loved one. Crying over spilt milk. Cutting corners. A chip off the old block. Bite the bullet. Don't beat around the bush. All bark, no bite. Break the ice. These are great ways to start this conversation around social nuances and how to be prepared in social settings. Another way to understand social nuances is to think about the slang that is going along with the age group that person is in. So, can I get a vibe check in here? What does that mean? It's good to talk through these different slang phrases that will help you feel more confident in understanding, okay, no one's talking about vibes. What is a vibe? Well, they're trying to figure out how is the energy, how are people feeling in the room. Understanding the type of people that your loved one is interacting with, the age group that you're interacting with can help give you a good viewpoint of, okay, these are different slangs that these people are talking about, and this is what they mean when they say these things. The next skill we're going to work through is sequencing of conversation. This is a really big skill that is often overlooked. The way that we can interact with people to create formative relationships. Sharing information, listening, and responding. A big thing that I like to use with this skill set is sequence strips. This is one of our education tactics we talked about last session in episode 3. So we're going to bring this sequence strip back. A sequence strip, to give you a quick rundown, is just breaking down an action or behavior into full steps So we know how, okay, this is what we do, then we do this, then we do that. So it's giving you a good background of what do we expect when we're interacting and how do we behave. This sequence strip has 5 different steps, and it's talking about working through conflict. How do you maintain connection even if something tricky comes up in your relationship? The steps go back and forth between 2 people. It's a dialogue or conversation exchange between 2 people. This is a really good time to do some role playing, which is another education tactic we talked through. And I love using props because it just makes it so much more tangible. So grab a prop of your choice. Mine is obviously a microphone because why not? So I'm gonna walk through this sequence strip with you guys, and we're gonna pretend that we're practicing our sequencing of conversation. We'll start. I feel like something has been off. Are you okay? Pass the prop to your other person. Give them time to respond. When they're done, they'll pass it back to you. Ask a question about what they just said. Pass it back. Their turn to speak. When they're finished, they'll pass it back to you. Okay, I understand how you're feeling. This is how I'm feeling. Does that make sense? It's their turn. Once they're done, they pass it back. Then you keep going back and forth just like that till you find a really good solid understanding of where you're coming from and how to move forward. I love the idea of rolling a ball back and forth too. This is a super easy way to give a tangible reality to these really complex nuances that are hard to teach. Another skill that's important to have when you are creating connection is reaction, responding, and empathy. These 3 things are super important because it's the way that we can respond to the world around us and to the people in our lives. Let's start by defining these 3 terms. Reacting. Reacting is when your body does something because your environment changes. So let's take an example of you're relaxing at your house. Someone knocks on the door. You jump up to answer the door. You are reacting to that boom, boom, boom on your door. What about responding? Responding is when you think before you act. So, boom, 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 someone knocks on the door. You can think, is someone coming at this hour? Was I expecting somebody? You can maybe look out the window before you decide to open the door to a stranger. This is your way to respond, thinking before you act. And then a third tactic that we need to think about is empathy. Empathy is a way that we can connect with other people. So, say you hear that knock, boom, boom, boom. You open the door and you see your friend standing there. They look really sad and they start telling you about their day and how they need a hug. You can think, how would I feel if I looked like my friend and I had the day they had? I would feel sad. You can empathize with them. You can understand how they are feeling and you can put yourself in their shoes, understanding, okay, this is how I would feel if I was right where they are. I would be kind of sad and I would need a hug. Reacting, responding, or empathy. These are basic connection points that we can define and help understand for our adults with IDD. But these really big constructs are kind of overwhelming. How do we know when we're reacting, responding, or empathizing? How do we know how to do that? I like to break it down to emotional regulation skills. So let's talk through how we feel, our internal signals, and how to react because of them. How we feel shows how we can connect. I've created another sequence strip for us to go through this together. As you can see, there are 5 steps to the sequence trip. It starts with you interact with someone new. Check in with your heart. How is your heart beating? Is it fast? Is it slow? Does it feel just right? Check in with your breathing. How are you breathing? Are you feeling a little fast? Feeling a little slow? Or feeling just right? How does your body feel? Are you feeling like super jittery and fast? Are you feeling super tired and slow? Or are you feeling just right? After we've checked in with our heart, our breathing, and our body, we can have a better understanding of how we feel. Then we can figure out how we want to respond. A very thoughtful way to interact. Even though when we meet new people, we might feel a little bit overwhelmed, keeping in check with how we feel before responding and connecting is really important to make sure that we're feeling safe, we're taking care of ourselves, so we can show up in the way we want when creating connection. The next thing we're going to talk about are forms of communication. We're going to use a consistent cornerstone to talk through this subject. Consistent cornerstones were educated on last episode, episode 3, and it's a way to create uniformity across the nuances of life. Giving that black and white in a world full of gray is really helpful and can be really calming for someone who has an IDD. So there are 2 basic forms of communication: verbal communication and nonverbal communication. Creating a consistent cornerstone where we go through life and start labeling, boom, 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 boom. That's nonverbal, that's verbal. It helps us understand how we're interacting with our world around us and gives us more confidence and independence. So let's talk through some examples. And I want you to think, is this nonverbal or verbal? Waving hello. Calling on the phone, hey. Winking. Sending an email or a text. Standing with your arms crossed. Opening arms when you meet somebody. There are different ways that we can have verbal communication. You're directly speaking to someone. You're sending them a direct message with your voice, your text, words are coming directly to you. Or nonverbal communication, which can be the tricky part, are body language, gestures. These are things we also need to understand. That's a form of communication, even if I don't hear or see words. This is a great way to give confidence, independence, and safety when you're interacting with the world. There's all these different ways to interact. So giving some strong definitions, black and white, consistent cornerstones is awesome for creating that skill. Our final skill we're going to talk about is social media. Social media is huge. People are on Snapchat, people are on Instagram, people are on dating apps, and they can all be really hard, especially with the asynchrony of it all. Asynchrony is when someone can send a text at 3 a.m, you don't see it till the next day. How do you get that form of communication going, that jive that we worked on earlier with passing the microphone or passing a ball back and forth? That can be really hard when you're really trying to create connection with somebody, but you're doing it through social media. But I also really want to talk through safety and making sure that our loved ones are safe and confident out there in the world. A 2021 study says that 72% of young adults are on social media. So we can't just imagine that this isn't happening. Whether you like it or not, social media is a huge part of our communication system. So let's talk about it and let's build safety around it. Starting with the asynchrony of social nuances on social media. I think it's really important to start with yourself. How do I feel? That's how I connect. How do you feel about your boundaries? What time of the day do you want people to connect with you? How do you want people to connect with you? And how are you going to connect with others? Starting those boundaries can kind of help you understand, okay, This is how I want to react and respond in the world around me. And this is my expectation for the people that show me respect and can show that they earn a spot in my life that is going to be a really beneficial part of my connection in my world. Switching our focus over to safety, I want to talk about 3 big topics. We're going to talk about scammers, catfishing, and trolls. First, let's define them. What's a scammer? A scammer is an individual with a fraudulent scheme. They're out there trying to take something from you. They're trying to take advantage of you. They're out there trying to create connection so they can get something from you. What's a catfish? A catfish is someone luring you into a relationship, sometimes an intimate relationship, but they're completely lying about their identity. They're not who they say they are. They're using someone else's pictures. They're acting like they have something they don't. This is a catfish. And what is a troll? A troll are people that are out there to harass others. They're trying to make you feel bad. They're trying to be there just to hurt other people. These people are all over the internet these days, and it's really important to educate what they are so we know how to look out for them and create boundaries to have safety in our life. Let's pull in one of our education tactics from episode 3, a storyboard. We're gonna create a storyboard of different activities that a troller, a scammer, or a catfish may be trying to do, so we know what to look out for with these potential social interactions. Asking for your passwords. Telling you that you have a package. Click here. Threatening or blackmailing you. Promising you money through checks, mail, Venmo, Cash App. Never being able to meet in person. Asking for your address, your number, your routing number, anything around your bank account. Don't give out your personal information on social media. Telling you that you will have money in your account after you do something. Telling you a sad story so you can help them out financially. This storyboard is super helpful to give some very good examples of what we should look out for when we're out there on social media. Thanks so much for following along. I love getting to talk through these different experiences, different skills, and education tactics so that everybody can experience fullness of life. Please feel free to reach out to me, email me. I love hearing from y'all. I love feedback and any lingering questions that you might have. Please don't be afraid. Send me an email. This is our 4th episode in a 7-episode series, so we still have a few more to go. Episode 5 is going to talk about levels of intimacy. Making sure that we're not love bombing, getting too ahead of ourselves when creating connection, and knowing how to create personal boundaries so we're safe. I'm so excited to keep discovering ways that we can increase the livelihood of all individuals together. Talk soon.